Hello, dear amazing Earth, with all of you unique human beings out there. Today, I'm going to be a little creative, see what comes to me. It's not always I can put a title on the video and then just go by it. Sometimes I have to even become a little more obscure, in a sense, before I speak. And then I can slowly gain in on my eloquence over time. It always takes a little time to get a feeling of what you're supposed to talk about. But what's so beautiful about the spiritual realm and creativity, thinking, feeling, and willing, and all our human faculties, is that we can explore it, experience it, have fun with it. Every feeling that comes up, every thought that comes up, every will impulse that is showing itself, observe them, get to know them, get to know what it is to be a human being. It is so much more to us than just this bag of flesh, as we call it. We are highly evolved and divine beings in a physical form that ebbs and flows. And with each ebb and flow, we gain new or different faculties, new and different ways of cognizing the world, different ways of speaking it, different ways of putting pictures on it. And we can't try to find a system from 500 years, 1,000 years, or 2,000 years ago and use it today, because the moral and ethical standpoints and where we stand today in general in the way we view the world is in complete opposition to the past ways of doing things. In the past, the kings and the rulers were chosen by the divine realms, and the divine realms spoke through them. That was the second part. The first part was that the kings were ruled by divine beings. Divine beings were inside priest kings. This is very long time ago. And then it slowly becomes the representative, and then it now comes to symbols and symbolism. It becomes more and more obscured in wordings and picturing. But the thing is, when you sit here and you see things directly for what it is, put away your opinions for a little sec, your empathies and antipathies, and what is happening is the pure truth of it, the happening, the movement, the change, the occurrence. This happens constantly inside us, but are we focused on our inner world and our sensations, or are we out there trying to run away from these inner feelings and sensations? The thing is, we are dualistic, apparently. That means the outer world and the inner world, but the thing is, we are the I that is in between these, oscillating in between, like a wave, like a breath. But we are also paying for karma we have done in past lives. We are also making choices day by day. And if we choose to take each day as an opportunity for adventure, growth, and learning, to have a reverence for this world as it deserves. Or we can try to find every problem, every dark moments, every small little detail of every problem we have. The thing is, yes, we must point out all of these problems or these challenges we have, but if you don't take actions daily in changing yourself so you can make a difference, you are only adding fuel to the fire. That is logical. You are putting more criticism on something you are not changing whatsoever in that case. But if you're every day, and you know you're sure of this, that you are being taken, someone from the divine realm is taking your hand and guiding you day by day, No matter how alone you might feel in the moment sometimes, no matter how doubtful you might be, you always come back to yourself because you trust, you have faith. You actually trust that you are going the right direction. And faith and trust is essential. This is one of the way to connect to the divine realm. Reverence, devotion, a feeling of a mission, a feeling of obligation for humankind. And the more you get into this, the less interesting personal goals are. Like getting a lot of money, getting a car, getting a house, getting any of physical kind of that. I build physical faculties for my body, eloquence, right manner of speech, correct posture, right way of thinking, feeling, and willing. Finding out how many layers we have. Find out how many layers we are going to get when we grow more into the true human form. Trying to have a little fun with exploring the world, instead of thinking that we know all about the world. We know next to nothing about the spiritual realms today. And we are living side by side and within it. That means we are missing something right now. Or not missing, but we are choosing to not focus on it in the moment. But we human beings are different from animals because we have our ego, our I, the crown of creation, what makes us stand upright, what makes us differentiate ourselves from the rest of all forms and become individual. This is our evolution, this is our growth, but it is not complete, separate, and solid and blocked individuality. It is an open, unique individuality that tries to encompass the whole world for the whole world. Because we all are a mini universe in a huge universe. We are a microcosm in a macrocosm. Of course, it is just words if you don't have the connection to what it is. But we still are. And we are so much more majestic, so much more beautiful than what we let ourselves think we are, what we are becoming, how we operate. We are not machines. We are not animals. We are spiritual, physical beings. And you can see how different we are from animals when you actually really cultivate what the difference is, what we are supposed to cultivate, what the animals don't have, that they will gain later through natural course of evolution. They have to follow the natural course of evolution because they separated from us many eons ago. But we waited in the spiritual realm a little longer before we incarnated and had one more faculty, the eye. Of course, this is occult study that have been known for thousands of years, but by being aware of this, by knowing that you can still be an individual, a unique entity that works for something bigger, but you have chosen it yourself. It's not someone else that say, to participate you need to do this, this, and this. No, I know what is needed in this world from my viewpoint. And my viewpoint is trying to be as objective as possible. So I build moral and ethical groundworks, foundations, and I pave a way and I try to explore the unknown every day. So that more and more people can do the same. So that we can have a say when we are enough people that can make a change. And when we are enough people, the change is inevitable. The illusion that how we live now is going to be like this forever is an illusion. Exactly that, an illusion. And in 500 to 1,000 years, we're going to look back and think, remember that when we had that astronomy as a mythology, that was an insane time, yo. We thought everything was physical dead. and came from a random Big Bang and such. This was just a crude way of explaining it, but you get my drift. Everything has a purpose. Everything is guided. Everything have an impulse, have a will. That includes the Big Bang, the circular motions of galaxies, the interplanetary dances between solar systems, and the solar system dancing around stars in general. This is not mechanical movements. This is living movements that is changing little by little every time. How else are we having every 4th year that one extra day, Because we have made a system that we actually have to be active every 4th year. But I digress. This was just a side note. But by becoming aware to the now, how the planets operate and how we are affected by all of these planetary bodies, and how we day by day are feeling sensationally, thoughtfully, willfully, and emotionally. As will, thought, and emotion are the 3 things I point out all the time. And that is because when you are aware of that, you have the head, you have the heart, and you have the will, then you can more easily go in and try to study it. So, this is what I had to say today. This was really fun. I love to explore and I love to just create, get inspiration in the moment. It just feels good because it feels like when I talk about them, they are here with me in a sense. And they are. Of course they are. But you have to be faithful and trustful that you are guided by them. You can even speak to yourself. That is how I trained myself in speaking in general. That means I have a conversation with myself and I imagine myself as a higher being, and I never go beyond my capabilities of seeing things from an objective viewpoint, but to have a loving objective being with you that you can talk to, that you can have guidance with, speak morally and ethically with, speak truthfully with. I promise you, you will learn about yourself because you're listening to yourself and what you're saying. Of course, you're not mad. It's not like you have 2 personalities. No, you are this one all the time, but you are in different layers in a sense because we are more than this bag of flesh, as I said. May the divine and God and Christ all guide us and bless us and protect us on this path to growth, evolution, and love. Love you all. Goodbye.